First Contact Protocol. The Meridian observation vessel hung silently in the void, its crystalline hull refracting starlight in mesmerizing patterns. Senior observer Kala-9 studied the readings from the primitive planet below with growing concern. The energy signatures were impossible to ignore, quantum fluctuations that shouldn't exist in a pre-FTL civilization. Analysis complete. Observer, the ship's AI announced. The anomalous readings originate from a research facility in what the natives call Nevada. Their experiments are dangerously close to triggering a quantum cascade. Kala-9's iridescent scales shifted from deep blue to amber, a sign of deep thought among her kind. For 3 centuries, the Meridians had monitored Earth from afar, watching humanity's stumbling progress toward the stars. The protocols were clear. No contact until a species achieved faster-than-light travel independently. But these humans, these unpredictable beings, were about to accidentally discover something far more dangerous. At the Nevada Quantum Research Institute, Dr. Sarah Chen was about to have the worst, or perhaps the most extraordinary, day of her career. Her quantum entanglement experiment had produced results that defied every known law of physics. The particles weren't just entangled. They were creating stable micro-wormholes. Dr. Chen, her assistant, James, called from the observation room. The Pentagon is on the line. They say it's urgent. Sarah sighed. Of course they were calling. Every quantum research facility in the world must have detected the anomaly. As she reached for the phone, a brilliant light filled the laboratory, and reality itself seemed to bend. The Meridian delegation materialized in a perfectly choreographed formation. Their crystalline bodies caught the fluorescent lighting, sending rainbow refractions across the stunned humans' faces. Kala-9 stepped forward, her universal translator already adapting to English. Dr. Sarah Chen, her melodious voice echoed. I am Senior Observer Kala-9 of the Meridian Collective. Your experiments have forced our hand. We come with urgent purpose. The security team's weapons were already drawn, but Sarah raised her hand to stop them. Stand down, she ordered, her eyes fixed on the alien beings. Years of theoretical xenobiology hadn't prepared her for this moment, but something in the observer's tone spoke of necessity rather than threat. You've been watching us, Sarah stated. It wasn't a question. Yes, your species is young, but your rate of advancement is unprecedented. What took others millennia, you achieve in centuries. But now you stand at a precipice. The next few hours were a blur of explanations and revelations. The Meridians, it turned out, were part of a galaxy-spanning network of civilizations. They served as guardians, ensuring developing species didn't destroy themselves, or worse, tear holes in the fabric of space-time. Sarah's team had accidentally discovered quantum tunneling principles that could revolutionize space travel or catastrophically collapse local space-time. The Meridians hadn't expected humanity to stumble upon this technology for at least another century. As news of the first contact spread, humanity's reactions ranged from panic to euphoria. But in that Nevada laboratory, something unprecedented was taking shape. The Meridians had come to prevent a disaster, but they found themselves fascinated by the human approach to quantum mechanics. Your mathematics are crude, one of Kala-9's scientists observed, but your intuitive leaps are remarkable. You saw connections we overlooked for millennia. Sarah worked through the night with the Meridian scientists, combining their advanced understanding with humanity's fresh perspective. What emerged was something entirely new, a hybrid theory that promised to revolutionize both human and Meridian understanding of the universe. This is why we couldn't wait, Kala-9 explained to the hastily assembled UN Security Council the next day. Humanity's unique cognitive approach, combined with your rapid technological advancement, creates both tremendous potential and tremendous risk. We propose a partnership, not domination or subjugation. The world leaders listened in stunned silence as Kala-9 outlined the Meridians' proposal. They would share their knowledge, help humanity avoid the catastrophic mistakes that had claimed other young civilizations, but in return, They wanted access to human insights, our unique way of seeing the universe. Your species sees patterns we miss, she explained. You make intuitive leaps that defy conventional logic yet lead to profound discoveries. In all our centuries of observation, we've never encountered a species quite like humanity. In the days that followed, as the world grappled with its new reality, Sarah continued her work with the Meridian scientists. Their partnership would become the template for human-Meridian cooperation, proving that humanity's greatest strength wasn't our technology or our resources, but our ability to think differently, to see possibilities where others saw only chaos. The quantum accident that could have spelled disaster instead became humanity's gateway to the stars. Not as subordinates or proteges, but as partners to one of the galaxy's most advanced civilizations. The Meridians had come to prevent a catastrophe, but they found something far more valuable. A species whose unique perspective would help reshape their understanding of the universe itself. As Sarah watched the sun rise over the Nevada desert, its light playing off the crystalline forms of her new Meridian colleagues, she couldn't help but smile. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage, not with a bang or a whimper, but with an accidental discovery that would change everything. The journey ahead would be challenging, but for the first time, we would not walk it alone. The human variable. 6 months after first contact, the Meridian Human Scientific Exchange Center in Geneva hummed with activity. Dr. Maya Rodriguez stood before a holographic display, her fingers dancing through streams of quantum data as her Meridian colleague, Science Path Ethan 3, watched with growing amazement. Impossible. Ethan 3's crystalline form shifted through shades of deep purple, a sign of intellectual distress among Meridians. The quantum alignment calculations suggest this configuration would be unstable, yet your simulations show otherwise. Maya smiled, used to this reaction from her alien colleagues. That's because you're applying standard quantum field theory. Watch what happens when we introduce controlled chaos into the equation. She gestured, and the holographic representation transformed, showing cascading patterns that somehow maintained coherence despite their apparent randomness. The discovery had started as a simple thought experiment, while Meridian scientists approached quantum mechanics with precise, mathematically perfect methodologies. Maya had wondered what would happen if they deliberately introduced controlled instability into their quantum field generators. The results defied conventional wisdom, but opened up entirely new possibilities for faster-than-light travel. Across the facility, similar scenes played out. Human scientists, paired with Meridian experts, consistently found novel approaches to problems that had stumped the advanced civilization for centuries. It wasn't that humans were smarter. The Meridians' grasp of science and mathematics far exceeded humanity's, but rather that humans thought differently, saw patterns where others saw only chaos. In her private quarters that evening, Caroline composed her report to the Meridian High Council. The human variable continues to exceed our projections, she wrote. Their cognitive architecture, shaped by millennia of survival on a highly unstable planet, allows them to conceive solutions that our more structured approach often overlooks. However, this same unpredictability raises concerns. She attached footage from earlier that day. A human engineer named James Chen, no relation to Dr. Sarah Chen, had modified a Meridian quantum computer by intentionally introducing what he called controlled errors into its processing matrix. The result was a 300% increase in processing speed for certain types of calculations. The modification was brilliant, but it made many Meridians deeply uncomfortable. How could something work better by making it less perfect? Meanwhile, in a secured wing of the facility, Dr. Sarah Chen continued her work with the original quantum tunneling technology that had prompted first contact. She had assembled a team of both human and Meridian scientists who shared her willingness to push boundaries. Their project, dubbed Quantum Bridge, aimed to revolutionize space travel by creating stable wormholes using principles that merged Meridian precision with human intuition. The problem, Sarah explained to her team, isn't that we can't create stable wormholes. It's that we've been trying to make them too perfect. Nature itself isn't perfect. It's adaptable, flexible, resilient. What if we apply that principle here? Her Meridian colleagues had initially resisted this approach, but 6 months of working with humans had begun to shift their perspective. Science Path Laura 7, one of the more adaptable meridians, had even started incorporating human-style theoretical leaps into her own work. As Sarah's team worked, news came from other human meridian collaboration sites around the world. A team in Bangalore had developed a new form of quantum computing that used principles derived from human neural networks. In Sao Paulo, researchers had found ways to improve meridian energy generation efficiency by introducing controlled fluctuations into their fusion reactors. But not everyone was comfortable with the pace of advancement. Some meridian conservatives argued that humanity was moving too fast, that our tendency to leap before looking would eventually lead to disaster. They pointed to humanity's history of warfare and environmental degradation as evidence that we couldn't be trusted with advanced technology. These concerns reached a crescendo when Sarah's team announced a breakthrough in the Quantum Bridge project. They had successfully created a stable micro-wormhole, one that remained open far longer than any previous attempt. The achievement was remarkable, but the method, which involved deliberately introducing controlled instabilities into the quantum field, horrified traditional meridian scientists. The debate reached the highest levels of both human and meridian leadership. The Meridian High Council convened an emergency session to discuss the implications of humanity's rapid advancement and unconventional approaches. Some called for restrictions on human access to meridian technology. Others argued that humanity's unique perspective was too valuable to suppress. As the political drama unfolded, Maya Rodriguez made another discovery in her quantum alignment research. She found that the principles they'd developed could be applied to more than just space travel. They could potentially revolutionize everything from energy production to environmental restoration. Don't you see? She explained to a gathering of human and meridian scientists. The very chaos that makes you uncomfortable is actually a form of higher order. We're not breaking the rules of physics. We're understanding them at a deeper level. The presentation sparked intense debate, but it also marked a turning point in human-meridian relations. The Meridians began to realize that humanity's different approach to problem-solving wasn't just useful. It was essential for advancing their own civilization's understanding of the universe. As the day ended, Caroline added a final note to her report. The human variable remains unpredictable, but perhaps that is exactly what our civilization needs. In their chaos, we are finding new forms of order. In their imperfection, we are discovering new kinds of perfection. The question is no longer whether humanity is ready for advanced technology, but whether we are ready for the changes humanity will bring to our understanding of it. Quantum leap. The alert came at 3:47 a.m. Geneva time. Sarah Chen was pulled from sleep by the urgent pinging of her communication device. The quantum bridge experiment had produced unexpected results. Again. But this time was different. This time, the readings were off the charts. Racing through the corridors of the research facility, she found Maya Rodriguez already at the quantum bridge terminal, her face illuminated by streams of holographic data. Beside her, Science Path Ethan 3's crystalline form, pulsed with rapid color changes, the meridian equivalent of extreme excitement. Sarah, look at this. Maya's voice trembled with barely contained excitement. The quantum field isn't just stable. It's self-reinforcing. It's doing something we've never seen before. The holographic display showed the experimental chamber where their latest quantum bridge test had been running. The micro-wormhole they'd created wasn't just maintaining its form. It was actively reshaping the quantum fabric around it, creating patterns that defied both human and meridian understanding of physics. Impossible, Sarah whispered, echoing what the Meridians had so often said about human discoveries. The energy readings suggest it's actually drawing power from the quantum vacuum itself. Caroline arrived moments later, her usually composed form showing signs of agitation. The High Council is demanding answers, she announced. These energy signatures are visible across half the galaxy. We've already received inquiries from 3 different civilizations. The discovery was far more significant than anyone had initially realized. By combining human intuitive leaps with meridian precision, they had accidentally stumbled upon something that could revolutionize space travel and energy production throughout the galaxy. But it also presented unprecedented risks. The quantum field modifications are spreading, Ethan 3 reported, his color shifting to warning amber. They're not dangerous, but they're changing things. Quantum systems across the solar system are becoming more efficient, more stable, yet more flexible. The implications were staggering. They hadn't just created a new form of energy manipulation. They had initiated a fundamental shift in how quantum mechanics worked in their region of space. It was as if they had discovered a new law of physics, one that had always existed but had never been activated. News of the discovery spread rapidly through both human and meridian communities. Some celebrated it as the greatest scientific breakthrough in history. Others feared they had opened a Pandora's box of unintended consequences. The Meridian High Council convened an emergency session, broadcasting across their vast network of worlds. The debate was fierce. Some argued for immediately shutting down all human meridian collaboration. Others insisted this discovery proved humanity's value to galactic civilization. But even as the political drama unfolded, the scientific implications continued to grow. Research teams around Earth began reporting unusual phenomena. Quantum computers were performing beyond their theoretical limits. Energy systems were operating at impossible efficiencies. It was as if the universe itself was learning from the human meridian breakthrough. Sarah and her team worked tirelessly to understand what they had created. It's like we've taught the quantum field new tricks, she explained to a joint human meridian scientific council. By introducing controlled chaos into our experiments, we've shown the universe that there are more efficient ways to organize quantum systems. Maya had another theory. What if this is what was supposed to happen all along? She suggested. Maybe the universe was waiting for someone to think differently enough to unlock this potential. The meridian's perfect order combined with human chaos. It created something entirely new. The breakthrough attracted attention from beyond the meridian sphere of influence. Representatives from other advanced civilizations began arriving on Earth, eager to understand how a young species had helped achieve what their societies had sought for millennia. Among them was an ancient race known as the Archivists, beings of pure energy who had documented galactic history for millions of years. Their arrival at the Geneva facility caused quite a stir. It was said they only appeared when truly historic events were unfolding. We have watched countless civilizations rise and fall. Their representative communicated directly into the minds of those present. But never have we seen two species complement each other so perfectly. The Meridian's order and humanity's chaos. Together you have unlocked one of the fundamental secrets of the universe. The Archivist's words carried weight, helping to quiet those who feared the implications of the discovery. But they also brought a warning. With great discovery comes great responsibility. The changes you have initiated cannot be undone. They will ripple across the galaxy, affecting all quantum systems. How you manage this transition will determine the future of not just your species, but all intelligent life. As the day turned to night, Sarah stood at her laboratory window, watching the quantum auroras that now regularly painted the sky, a visible manifestation of their discovery's effects on Earth's quantum field. Beside her, Kalanine's crystalline form reflected the shifting lights. "When we first detected your quantum experiments," Kalanine said softly, "we thought we were preventing a disaster. Instead, we became part of the greatest discovery in galactic history." Sarah nodded. "Because you were willing to look past our apparent primitiveness and see our potential. And we were willing to learn from your knowledge while maintaining our unique perspective." The question now, Kalanine's form shifted to a contemplative blue, is what we do with this discovery. The changes are spreading faster than predicted. Soon, every corner of the galaxy will be affected. Sarah smiled. Then we'll do what humans have always done. Adapt, innovate, and find a way forward. Only this time, we'll do it together with the Meridians. The quantum leap they had achieved would reshape the galaxy in ways none could fully predict. But for the first time, two vastly different approaches to understanding the universe had combined to create something greater than either could have achieved alone. It was just the beginning of a new era in galactic history. The test. The warning arrived through quantum channels from the edge of Meridian space. A previously unknown species, the Vorax, had emerged from deep space, their massive fleet utilizing technologies that seemed to defy known physics. Initial diplomatic attempts had failed. The Vorax responded only with demands for unconditional surrender. In the Geneva facility's crisis center, holographic displays showed the Vorax fleet's steady advance. Their ships appeared to be utilizing some form of quantum technology that made them nearly invulnerable to conventional weapons. They had already overwhelmed 3 Meridian defensive outposts. Their quantum shielding is like nothing we've ever encountered, Calanine explained to the Emergency Council of Human and Meridian leaders. They appear to be using the same quantum principles we recently discovered, but they're applying them as weapons. Sarah Chen studied the data streams with growing concern. The Vorax ships were indeed manipulating quantum fields, but there was something odd about their approach. Look at these energy signatures, she pointed out. They're forcing quantum stability. It's effective, but incredibly inefficient. Maya Rodriguez, who had been quietly analyzing the Vorax transmission patterns, suddenly straightened. "That's it," she exclaimed. "They're trying to impose perfect order on quantum chaos. They don't understand the principles we discovered. They're just brute forcing their way through." The revelation sparked an idea. The human Meridian quantum breakthrough hadn't just been about controlling quantum fields. It had been about working with their natural tendency toward controlled chaos. The Vorax were doing the opposite, trying to impose rigid order on quantum systems that naturally resisted such control. "We can use that against them," Sarah proposed. "Their shields work by maintaining perfect quantum stability. What if we introduce our controlled chaos principle into their systems?" The plan was audacious. It would require modifying the quantum bridge technology into a defensive weapon, something neither humans nor Meridians had considered before. But with the Vorax fleet less than a week from reaching major population centers, they had little choice. Teams of human and Meridian scientists worked around the clock, combining their different approaches to problem solving. Human intuition suggested ways to exploit the Vorax's rigid quantum systems, while Meridian precision helped turn these ideas into practical solutions. The first test of their defensive system came sooner than expected. A Vorax advanced scout ship discovered Earth's location and attempted a surprise attack. As it approached Earth orbit, the combined human Meridian defense grid activated. The effect was spectacular. The Vorax ship's quantum shields, encountering the controlled chaos of the human Meridian defense system, began to fluctuate wildly. Their attempt to maintain perfect stability in the face of controlled quantum chaos caused their systems to overload. "It's working." Ethan 3's crystalline form pulsed with excitement as they watched the Vorax ship's shields fail. "Their rigid quantum matrix can't adapt to our controlled fluctuations." But the real test was yet to come. The main Vorax fleet, detecting the loss of their scout ship, accelerated their approach. They arrived in force. Thousands of ships filling the space around Earth and nearby Meridian colonies. The Vorax commander's transmission was broadcast across all channels. "Your primitive attempts at resistance are futile. Surrender now, and we may spare some of your populations for study." The response came not from Earth's political leaders or the Meridian High Council, but from the combined human Meridian Defense Force. Without a word, they activated their quantum defense grid at full power. The space around Earth erupted in quantum chaos. The Vorax fleet's supposedly invincible shields began to fail one by one as their rigid quantum systems encountered phenomena they couldn't comprehend or control. Ships that had conquered dozens of worlds found themselves powerless against a defense that turned their own perfectionism against them. In the Geneva facility, Sarah and Maya watched alongside their Meridian colleagues as their theories were proven right on a massive scale. The Vorex, for all their advanced technology, had fundamentally misunderstood the nature of quantum reality. Their desire for perfect control had become their greatest weakness. The battle was over surprisingly quickly. The Vorex fleet, their primary advantage neutralized, retreated in disarray. But the implications of the victory extended far beyond a single conflict. "We've proven something today," Calanine addressed the combined Human Meridian Council. "Not just about our ability to defend ourselves, but about the fundamental correctness of our approach. The combination of human creativity and Meridian precision isn't just a scientific advantage, it's a philosophical one." The Vorex incident became a turning point in galactic history. Other civilizations, which had been watching the Human Meridian partnership with skepticism, now saw the profound advantages of combining different approaches to understanding the universe. As the victory celebrations wound down, Sarah found herself again standing at her laboratory window, watching the quantum auroras that had become a permanent feature of Earth's sky. Maya joined her, along with Ethan 3 and Calanine. "You know what the Vorex really tested today," Maya mused. "Not our technology, but our partnership. They couldn't understand how beings as different as humans and Meridians could work together so effectively." "Perhaps that's the greatest discovery we've made," Calanine responded, her crystalline form glowing softly. "Not the quantum breakthroughs or the defense systems, but the proof that diversity, even chaos, isn't a weakness. It's the key to understanding the universe itself." New horizons. 5 years after the Vorex incident, the galaxy had changed in ways no one could have predicted. The quantum principles discovered through human Meridian collaboration had spread throughout known space, revolutionizing everything from space travel to energy production. But more profound than the technological changes was the philosophical shift that had occurred. The Geneva facility, once a simple research center, had grown into the Galactic Institute of Cooperative Sciences. Its halls now buzzed with representatives from dozens of species, all seeking to understand and contribute to the new paradigm of collaborative discovery. Sarah Chen, now serving as the Institute's joint director alongside Calanine, stood before a massive quantum display showing real-time data from across the galaxy. The quantum network they had inadvertently created during their first breakthrough had evolved into an interstellar communication system that linked civilizations in ways previously thought impossible. Another breakthrough from the Centauri division, Maya Rodriguez announced, entering the room with several alien scientists in Tau. "They found a way to apply our quantum principles to planetary climate control. The test results from Mars are exceeding all expectations." The terraforming of Mars had become one of the first large-scale applications of human Meridian quantum technology. What traditional methods would have taken centuries was now progressing at an unprecedented rate. The red planet was already developing a breathable atmosphere. "The archivists were right," Ethan 3 observed, his crystalline form shifting through shades of contemplative blue. "The changes we initiated are still rippling through the galaxy. But not just in technology, in how species interact and solve problems." He was right. The Human Meridian Partnership had become a model for interspecies collaboration throughout known space. The Vorex themselves, after their defeat, had undergone a radical transformation. A younger generation of their species had embraced the principles of controlled chaos, leading to a cultural revolution that transformed them from would-be conquerors to eager participants in galactic society. In orbit above Earth, the first of the new generation exploration vessels prepared for its maiden voyage. The ship, named Horizon Bridge, was a physical embodiment of human Meridian cooperation. Its quantum drive incorporated both the precise engineering of the Meridians and the controlled chaos principles discovered by humans. Sarah and Calanine transported aboard for the final inspection. The ship's interior reflected its hybrid nature. Meridian crystalline technology seamlessly integrated with human-inspired organic designs. The crew was equally mixed, humans and Meridians working alongside other species who had joined the growing alliance. "Did you ever imagine this?" Sarah asked her Meridian friend as they stood on the ship's observation deck, watching Earth and its quantum auroras below. When you first detected our quantum experiments, Kalanine's form sparkled with amusement. We came to prevent a disaster. Instead, we found partners who would help us see the universe in entirely new ways. The High Council now believes that finding Earth was the most fortunate accident in our history. The quantum network suddenly pulsed with activity. A new signal, unlike anything they had detected before, was emanating from deep space. The archivists, who had maintained a quiet presence since the Vorex incident, suddenly became very interested. "We have detected something remarkable," the archivist representative communicated to the assembled leaders. "The quantum changes you initiated have awakened something. There are signs of intelligence in the quantum field itself, patterns that suggest consciousness on a scale we never imagined possible." The discovery sparked both excitement and apprehension. Had their manipulation of quantum fields awakened some dormant intelligence, or had they simply developed the ability to detect something that had always been there? Either way, Maya pointed out, we're better prepared to handle it together than we would be separately. The Meridian's experience and wisdom, combined with human adaptability and intuition. There's no challenge we can't face. As the Horizon Bridge prepared for its first jump into deep space, carrying a mixed crew to investigate the quantum signals, Sarah reflected on how far they had come. What had started as an accidental discovery in a Nevada laboratory had led to a transformation of galactic civilization. "We're ready for launch," the ship's captain, a young human Meridian hybrid, announced. The very existence of hybrid beings was another unexpected outcome of the partnership between the species, one that suggested even greater possibilities for the future. The quantum drive engaged, creating a controlled chaos vortex that bent space-time in ways that still inspired awe despite their understanding of the principles involved. As the ship departed, carrying representatives of multiple species toward yet another discovery, it symbolized everything their partnership had achieved. They had proven that the greatest advances come not from imposing order on chaos or surrendering to it, but from finding the harmony between the two. The future that awaited them might hold countless challenges, but they would face them together, each species contributing its unique perspective to their shared journey of discovery. The quantum auroras above Earth pulsed in response to the ship's departure, their colors mixing and swirling in patterns that seemed to echo the principles that had brought humanity and the Meridians together: the perfect balance of order and chaos, precision and intuition, tradition and innovation. The universe, they had learned, was far more complex and wonderful than either humans or Meridians had imagined alone. But together, they were ready to explore all its mysteries, one discovery at a time.